good afternoon to all of you. How are you all doing? Great. Okay, so welcome to Swiflearn online classes. As you already know, that Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes. We give personalized attention to each and every student, because maximum 6 students are there in our batches. Other than that, we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously will track how you are progressing, and accordingly you will get the feedback. This will help you to improve yourself. And the fourth very important thing is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. Whatever is coming in your school exam, you just tell it to us. We will do those first and then we will move on to the rest of the topic. So these are the different general features of Swiflearn, and let us now see why the Swiflearn is totally different from any other online platform. First of all, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every students, and according to the progress report, you will also have the PTM. जैसे आपके स्कूल में भी होता है, इधर भी होगा. Okay. Now coming to the second thing, that is the Swiflearn academic test series, which in short we call it as the SAT, which happen in every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can like do the test and you will name your name and the rank will be given on our leaderboard. Fine. Coming to the third and the fourth important thing, that is the practice test. As you already know that the practice makes a man perfect. So after completing each and every chapter, just go with all the practice tests. So there will be the objective as well as the subjective answers. Just solve the question answer, which will help you to understand the concepts better, and then submit it to me. We will check your answer and we will give you the tips and tricks how to write the proper answer, mainly in the subjective answer, right? So these are all the different features of Swiflearn, and to experience all these things, what you have to do is you have to book the free trial class. Book it anytime whenever you are free, and then enroll your name in our regular batches. Fine. Now let's move on to the topic, and before going to the topic, let us see. Let us tell you, whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. Okay, and don't forget to like, comment and share also. So here we are going to discuss about the chapter, that is the disease cause and control, and we have already studied about what are the different types of disease, how they are spread from one person to another, the communicable, non-communicable diseases in the previous session, right? So this is the second session of this chapter, that is the diseases causes and control, where we are going to study about the different diseases which are caused by the bacteria. One disease we have already studied in the previous session. I think you remember it. So let us recall that one and just tell me what is the name of that disease and who causes it. Okay. And also we will discuss about the different diseases which are caused by the protozoa. So quickly recall and tell me which organism caused the bacterial disease which we have studied in the previous session. Yes. Remember, we studied about the tuberculosis, right? And the organism which causes is known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Remember? Okay. Now let's move on to today's session. So today we are starting with the very first disease, that is the cholera, which is caused by another bacteria which is known as Vibrio cholerae. Now, the main infection which happens in case of the cholera is the intestinal tract. So the infection takes place within the intestinal tract, and that is why the diarrhea and the vomiting, nausea, these are the different types of symptoms which happen. Mainly it is interrupting our proper digestive system. Okay, and this disease basically go or spread from one person to another through the water. So this type of bacteria are present within the water, and when we drink that contaminated water, we can get this disease. So let us see with the help of the video a little bit more about cholera.
Over 100,000 people die from cholera each year, and yet with treatment, at least 99% would survive. So what is cholera, and why are people still dying from it if it can be treated? Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection that is caused by ingesting dirty water or food contaminated by a nasty bacterium called Vibrio cholerae. Between 12 hours and 5 days after ingesting the contaminated food or water, the symptoms kick in. For most people, maybe up to 4 million a year, the diarrhea is mild and treatable. Clean water and rehydration sachets do the trick to make sure the patient stays hydrated. It's a simple and low-cost treatment. More severe cases might need antibiotics and intravenous fluids to keep control of the dehydration. However, if left untreated, diarrhea resulting in severe dehydration leads to the death of 100,000 people each year. Okay, so if dirty water is the problem, let's make sure everyone has access to safe, clean water? Yes, absolutely, that's the dream. Access to clean water, proper sanitation, and cholera vaccines are straightforward prevention techniques for cholera. However, more than 2 billion people drink water from sources that are contaminated with feces, and 2.4 billion people don't have basic sanitation facilities. Cholera was first recorded in 1563 in India, and with many outbreaks since then, we've been contending with cholera for hundreds of years. And due to poor sanitation, limited public health funding and failures, conflict or natural disasters, cholera continues to live on globally today. But the good news is that the World Health Organization, in partnership with other international agencies and academic institutions, have set a 2030 target to reduce the deaths from cholera by 90%, with it being completely eliminated in 20 countries. The program is called the Global Task Force on Cholera Control, GTFCC. So how are they planning on doing this? As well as improving access to clean water and sanitation, the plan is also to educate people about hygiene and healthy behaviour, and to offer a vaccination program. This obviously comes at a cost. The World Bank is an incredible global organisation with 189 member countries that works towards reducing poverty and building prosperity in developing countries. They're providing the GTFCC with the funds to try to reduce cholera by 90% by 2030. So there we have cholera, an easy and cheaply treatable bacterial infection that causes acute diarrhea. Clean water, adequate sanitation, and good hygiene are simple solutions to prevent cholera. Let's hope by 2030 we don't have to learn about cholera anymore because it would have been eradicated.
If you like the video,
Yes,
give it
so
a
this is the our main motive to eradicate the cholera, and as you already know that India is totally cholera free country now, and the cases of the cholera are not there in India because of the improvement of the sanitation, hygiene and all. Okay, so let us see what causes this type of disease. First of all, the water supply, which are contaminated water supply from the municipal corporation. Second, the ice which are made from the water, and when we consume this ice creams and all which are made from the municipal water, we also get in, like the bacteria is also getting inside our body. Okay, third is the food and the drinks which are sold by the street vendors. They generally use the dirty water, and that dirty water have can have this vibrio cholerae, and when we take it, the contaminated food and water, it can get inside our body also. Next is the vegetables which are grown with the water containing human waste. So through the human waste, the cholera bacteria are also going out of their body, and when they come in contact with the vegetables, definitely they will get inside the vegetables. If we don't boil it or don't cook it properly before eating, then again the bacteria can get inside our body through food. Yeah, so we have to cook the food properly, like the raw or the uncooked fish or the seafood, which generally are like growing in the different water, the polluted, contaminated water, they can cause this cholera. Okay, now let's see what are the symptoms of this disease. First of all, as I have already mentioned, that vomiting as well as the diarrhea. And sometimes with the diarrhea, the watery diarrhea, severe dehydration takes place. Okay. Then the dry mucous membrane in the mouth, throat, nose, and eyelids takes place. The pressure, the blood pressure becomes very low, thirsty and very low, or no urination at all. You will feel thirst most of the time. Muscle cramp is there, accumulation of the urea in the body, and due to this uric acid and the urea accumulation in the body, in the long term process, it can cause the different types of kidney diseases. And finally, you have already studied about the incubation period, that is the germ which is coming inside our body till the first symptom which it is showing in our body, that period is known as the incubation period. In case of the cholera bacteria, this is 2 to 6 days. Okay, so these are the different symptoms of cholera. I have already mentioned this, that the skin elasticity loss and it becomes a little bit looser. And then the muscle cramp, low blood pressure, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea is very high. In severe cases, the watery diarrhea. mm, the dehydration, thirst, and heart rate will become very rapid and sometimes shock. Okay, so these are the different symptoms of the cholera. So to prevent it, what we have to do is, the first and foremost thing is, we should maintain a proper good sanitation and the hygiene. So we should maintain the proper hygiene inside our house as well as in our locality, right? Then the clean and well cooked food we should eat. Before eating, we should wash the vegetables and food properly with fresh water. Washing hand before eating, very important. Avoid the street foods which where the different house flies and the different insects can go and sit and they can spread the different types of diseases. So avoid this type of food. As well as vaccination is very very important. You should take the vaccination at proper time. Okay, now, let's move on to another case. See, once my gardener was working barefoot in the garden, and all of a sudden, one nail enters inside his foot. So, what happened? Feet took down, and they noticed that the nail a little bit is penetrated inside the foot, and he left it because it was not painful. That it was not that much painful. Now, after few days, he felt sick. First of all, his muscles get stiffening up, and as we also do some of the time, that we don't like bother it and we don't go to the doctor, we refuse to go to the doctor. He did the same. In the end, what happened? The man ended up dying because he was infected with a deadly microbe, and the microbe which entered inside his foot with the nail causes the deadly disease. So, can anybody tell me what microbe and what is the name of the disease which can cause, or this person was suffering from? Yes? Any idea? That is tetanus. Okay, so tetanus is the gram positive bacteria and it is anaerobic. They can present without the oxygen. So Clostridium tetani, this is the name of the bacteria, one rod shaped bacteria which causes this tetanus, and this disease is also known as the lockjaw. Okay, so here this gram positive bacteria can present in any sort of situations, like in the feces, the dust, soil, or rust objects, and they can get inside our body through the deep wound. So whenever you are barefooted and if any nails or any rust thing is coming in contact with you and it is causing some wound in your body, just go to the doctor and check the tetanus. Okay, so the tetanus means I'm talking about the antitoxin. Okay, so let us see with the help of the 3D model, like how it looks like. Tetanus is the rod-shaped bacteria. As you can see, it seems to be like this. Okay, they have the spore. So here it is no spore. Number two, you can see these are the spore-containing bacteria. So the spores are present within the spore head, and this is the rod-shaped body. This one is the terminal spore. If we see inside it, we can see the spore. This is the outermost covering of the spore, that is the spore coat, and inside it we can see the core of the spore. Okay, so they can get inside the body and they can cause the disease, the deadly disease, that is nothing but the tetanus. Okay, now let's move on to their incubation period. So after getting inside our body, they can stay from 4 to 3 weeks without showing any symptoms, and within these days they can show the symptoms, and whenever they will show the symptoms, we should go for a proper treatment. The germs causes this tetanus frequently present in the horse and cow dung. So coming in contact with the horse or the cow dung, you should be very much aware that you are not having any sort of wound on your body. So you can see with the wound, with the cut, injury in the foot, the tetanus can get inside the body. It can come from the soil. And the symptoms which is caused by this tetanus is, first, I have already told you, that is the lockjaw. Yes, that is why it is also known as the lockjaw disease. Other than this, the muscle spasm, the respiratory failure, in the extreme cases, trouble swallowing the food. These are the different symptoms which can happen due to the tetanus. Okay. Now, how to prevent this? By vaccination. Plain and simple, by taking a proper vaccine, we can prevent this one, or by giving antitoxin after the serious wound. So, it is always suggested to you, like if you are having any wound or cut in your hand or leg, wherever it is, with a sharp object, and mainly if it is made up of iron, so please go to immediately to the doctor and take one medicine, that is the tetanus antitoxin, so that at least the tetanus, if even if it is present inside the wound, it will be totally destroyed. Fine. Now let's move on to the next type of disease, which is again caused by the bacteria, that is known as syphilis. So syphilis is known as a sexually transmitted disease because it is transmitted or spread from one person to another, so through the sexual contacts. So the bacteria which causes it is known as the Treponema pallidum, and generally it can go from one place to another through the vagina or rectum or nose, even through the lips. Okay, so if not treated properly in time, we can get some wars. It can get worse over time, and it can cause the different types of medical issues. So let us see with the help of the 3D model how it looks like. So you can see the spiral type of bacteria it is. Okay, so the body of the microorganism or the bacteria which is causing the syphilis, Treponema pallidum, seems to be like this. Okay, seen the body? Okay, fine. So it looks like this. Again, it is the microorganism. We cannot see without the microscope. We have to see. And these are the different symptoms which can cause. And if you see them under the microscope, you can see the spiral bacteria. Okay, so it is affecting the lip. So the causes of this is having HIV, human immunodeficiency virus inside it, unsafe sex or unprotected sex, not using any sort of barrier like the condoms, or having sex with the partners who have many other sex partners, or the partner who is infected with the syphilis bacteria. Again, the next partner would also get the same type of disease. So let's see what are the different symptoms of syphilis. First of all is the fever. This is a general feature, a general symptom. Other than this, discharge from the penis if it happen in case of the male, rashes over the trunk, hand, feet, pus can discharge, vaginal bleeding in case of female, painful or burning urination, very painful urination, very painful sex, or we can say like the lower abdominal pain can also happen. These are the different symptoms which takes place due if anybody is suffering from syphilis. Okay, so the main treatment over here is taking the antibiotics or antiviral drugs. So penicillin over here is the very common antibiotic which is helped to treat this syphilis. Okay, now the other common bacterial diseases you can see over here are the diphtheria. Diphtheria causes caused through the corynebacterium bacterium diphtheria. Whooping cough, it is caused by the bacteria Haemophilus pertussis. Pneumonia, which is caused by the Diplococcus pneumoniae, and um, typhoid, it is caused by the Salmonella typhi. Okay, so these are the different names of the bacteria which causes these different diseases. So the different vaccines we should take on time, like the DPT vaccine, BCG vaccine. So DPT vaccine basically helps in preventing this diphtheria, tetanus and whooping cough together. Okay, so these vaccines are very, very important. Now let's move on to the different types of diseases which are caused by protozoa. So protozoa, as we already know, that it is one type of eukaryotic cell, and this causes a lot of different types of diseases like the malaria, like amoebic dysentery and all. So first we will talk about malaria, which is very common. You already know that it is caused by the mosquito bites, right? But the mosquitoes are also carrying the type of protozoa, which is basically the main disease causing germ that is known as plasmodium. So if it is just the benign malaria, it is the plasmodium vivax. We generally see this common bacteria, common protozoa, which causes the malaria. So malaria is a disease which that we are battling or we are suffering for a long period of time, and it generally it um, increases during the rainy season, which is the main breeding season of the mosquitoes, right? Malaria, dengue, we can say. So first evidence is that the disease is caused by the protozoa, like it was first seen in 30 million years ago. So let us see what type of protozoa, or what is the structure of the protozoa which causes this malaria with a 3D model. So it is very simple over here. You can see the outermost coat. They are having a nucleus within it, and the different cellular organelles are present within the cells. Okay, so it seems to be like this, the protozoa, the plasmodium. Okay, so when they come in contact with the mosquito, first the mosquito will go and bite the first infected person. Okay, so that person will get infected by the malarial germ. Now it will go inside their liver cells and red blood cells and grow and grow and divide and divide. Finally, when another mosquito will come and bite the same person and take the infected blood, and again like bite the another person, so that second person will also get the same type of disease, that is malaria. So that is how the mosquito can spread the diseases from one person to another. They are just taking the plasmodium vivax, that is the germ, inside their salivary gland, and they are just putting the saliva when they are going and biting the different person. Okay, so be aware of the mosquito bites all the time. Use the mosquito nets and all. And there are the different types of solutions, creams which prevent the mosquitoes, right? So this is very, very important. Let us see who causes this malaria. The different mosquitoes, mainly the female Anopheles mosquito causes or can carry these germs of malaria, right? Other than this, it can be going from one person to another when we are using the infected syringe. So always keep it in mind that whenever you are going for any blood test or so in the hospitals or wherever it is, or blood donation camp, whatever it is, just see that they are using a separate and a brand new syringe for you. Okay, so the infected syringe should not get inside your body, and it may cause a lot of different types of diseases. Next is organ transplantation. If the any organ is having this type of disease causing germs, and it is transplanted to another person, so that another person will also get the same disease. Next, transfusion, that is the blood transfusion, mainly when the donor is giving the blood to the recipient. So while donating the blood should be totally pure, and it should be totally clear of any sort of disease causing germs. The disease causing germs should not be there. Okay, and also from the infected mother to her baby. During the birth, it can be like within the womb of the mother, or it can be after the birth while breastfeeding. So it can go from the mother to the child. Okay, so this is how it can spread. And let's move on to the symptoms now. It can be fever is the very first symptom, vomiting, cheese, fatigue, headache. These are the different symptoms. Diarrhea, anemia, muscle pain in extreme condition if it is untreated for a long period of time. Other than this, profuse sweating, convulsions in extreme case, again bloody stools. Malaria can also lead to seizures, coma, and eventually death if it is not treated for a long period of time. So, if the different symptoms are coming in somebody's body, then we should go to the doctor and take a proper treatment, which includes the different type of drugs like the quinine, paludrine, camoquine, etc. So quinine is the very common drug, we know that, which helps to keep helps to treat the malaria. Yes. Now, the last one, let us move on to the amoebic dysentery. It is again another type of disease which is caused by the protozoa. So, the name of the protozoa is the Entamoeba histolytica. So, this basically can get inside our body through a lot of different types of processes, mainly through the food and water, and it causes the disease that is amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis. So this parasite lives in the intestine and produce the egg, which are passed out from the stool from our body. Out of the stool it results in diarrhea, and mainly it affect the total small intestine, the total digestive system, and that is why the diarrhea is the main symptom of it. Okay, it can occur in the people who are not in a proper sanitary condition, not maintaining a proper hygiene. So the poor sanitary condition, poor hygiene can cause this type of disease. The stool from the infected person may be contaminate the food and water, and if we just eat it, we will get the same type of disease. Okay, so let's see what are the different symptoms of this amoebiasis. First of all, abdominal discomfort, because it is basically affecting the total digestive system. Destruction of the intestinal lining, diarrhea, sometimes blood and mucus also come through the diarrhea or the stool. Period of the with the periods of constipation, fever, chill, nausea, weight loss. These are all the different symptoms which can happen. Okay, so let us now discuss some of the question answers, like what type of questions you can get in your exam. So, like this, amoebiasis or the amoebic dysentery is caused by what? You already know it is caused by the Entamoeba histolytica. Second is, which of the following is not a bacterial disease? Cholera is a bacterial disease, tuberculosis is also bacterial, anthrax is also, but influenza is a viral disease. Okay, so influenza virus causes this influenza. Okay, so only influenza will be the answer. Next, which of the following is a long term effect on health of an individual? So here the long term effect can be stress if it is not treated properly, but chewing tobacco is the most severe type of long term effect it can happen. Okay, so common cold and chicken pox, these are acute diseases. They do not have any long term effect if it is properly treated. Stress again can be managed with proper treatment, but chewing of tobacco is so dangerous that it can produce the long term effect within our body. Fine. So let me give you one fact, that is the syphilis. It has a lot of different types of names and it is given in the different countries. You can see that first it was like the when syphilis first surfaced, the English called it as the French disease, French call it as the Spanish disease, German call it French evil. Um, Russians calls them as the Polish disease, Poles call them Turkish disease, Stars calls them Christian disease, Japan call them chicken pox. So a lot of different types of names were given to a particular type of disease, that is the syphilis. So we call it syphilis, and that is how we can understand the disease, their symptoms and causes and their treatments, right? So let's see what we have already studied in today's session. We have already studied about the diseases which are caused by the bacteria, like the tetanus, cholera, and the syphilis, and also the diseases caused by the protozoa, JSM, malaria, and the amoebic dysentery. Okay, so that's all for today's session. We will again meet in the next session. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. So before going, let me again remind you, whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming session. We will again meet, and do not forget to like, comment and share. So thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. We will again meet in the next class. Bye bye.